Hey guys, it is Targon here doing another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I'm going to show you another clan boss comp. This has been a busy last few weeks for me because I've been building these two comps on my two accounts. Both of them are able to one key Ultra Nightmare, and so this next one, there's a lot happening in this next one. It's a little complex, so I want to go over it in detail with you guys, but it is really effective. Unfortunately, I have yet to be able to figure out a way to really speed tune an unkillable team for Spirit. I was able to do the budget Helicath unkillable, semi-unkillable team, but in terms of getting anything close to a one key, um, I haven't been able to get them to work with Spirit. But fortunately, right now, the clan boss is Force Affinity, which is it's not the only affinity that this comp works for. I don't have the right DPS champions built yet for Magic Affinity, so I'm kind of stuck with it on Void. But just so you get an idea, here is my key from earlier. And so you see I got Kreela, Ninja, Helicath, and then Rushguard the Tower, and then Seeker. And so this comp goes really fast. It's like a 2-for-1, and you have like the overlapping block damage. It is possible, I believe, to build Demitha exactly the same as you're building Tower in this, and she'll put the block damage up at just the right time. There might be a few variances, but I know some people who do this comp with her instead. So if you don't have two champions that can block damage, but you do have Demitha as your second, even though she only has it for one turn, this works out. It syncs up so that Rashguard is going last every, um, well, no, not every time, but there's the overlap. There's the overlapping coverage. So most of my friends, so here's an example actually. Saikulu, he uses Farrakhan, the fat, instead of Kreela. I have yet to pull this guy. This is like one epic that for whatever reason continues to elude me, along with Vogoth. Seeker, the reason it took me so long to get this, I only just pulled Seeker maybe like a month ago. So so it's been a while since I've been able to actually get this done. Here you see, so Butternut and Big Lead. Big Lead actually helped me to create this. Big Lead also runs the comp with Demitha. Butternut runs his like mine, but they're both using Farrakhan as opposed to Kreela. Probably ideally, once I get Farrakhan, then I have him and Kreela can kind of swap off depending on the affinity. So let's go ahead. Actually, you know what? Let me show you the let me just show you the team. This is a pretty end game build, guys. So most of you watching probably won't be able to get to these speeds for all the champions. But some of you can, and it's something to work towards, okay? Everybody is well over 200 speed. Um, so, you know, as you can see here, Kreela, she's at 248. Ninja at 220. Helicath is 247. Rashguard is 278. And then we got Seeker at 254. So this is a ton of speed, guys. And then, you know, you're going to want to push your stats with crit rate and crit damage and attack and so forth. To try and get the damage. But if you can hit these speeds, honestly, if you can hit the speeds and you get, you know, like your War Master on everybody, you'll probably be able to get pretty close to a one key, even if your damage stats aren't ideal. All right, so that's just kind of the overview of the team. I do want to talk about. I'm going to switch to show again in the clan boss calculator. Why are we not showing up? There we go. All right, sorry about that. So here is the Clan Boss calculator. This, so just to show you, because these speeds are so high, you want to look over here at the true speed, all the way kind of underneath the speed. So you'll see up top, you have Helicath, his speed is 247, true speed 247.33. This is because you have sets. So it's important to include if you're using a speed aura. I'm not using a speed aura, but if you are, you want to include that. But you want to make sure you get these sets exact, because if you're just putting 247 speed in and you're not including the sets, then it changes the true speed, and especially at these high speeds, that can throw it all off. As an example, so actually I made tower, should be more, but originally I had tower at 277, and I thought, looking over it, oh, this will work. See, he's going last each round. But I forgot one simple thing, which is I had Lore of Steel on him. So when I hit, so I forgot to calculate Lore of Steel, and I could not figure out why this was not working. Because he would go, and then Seeker would take a turn here, or Ninja would take a turn here, and then the block damage wouldn't go up, and it would stun the wrong person and so forth. Actually, it was later on. It was later on that the buffs required to get the clan boss to target a particular champion changed just by the variance of Lore of Steel, which, so you'll see with Lore of Steel on, I was originally running him at what it showed up 277, and I had Lore of Steel on, so it was actually a 276.54. But when I put it in, I didn't have Lore of Steel, so it changed it by 0.4. All right, so that's how delicate these speeds are. So now, fortunately, I was able to just use a glyph to increase his speed by 1. Let's see, if I changed the Lore of Steel, it wouldn't, yeah. So I was within the margins, so I was still able to get it to work. But that is how complicated it is, especially when we're looking at these kinds of speeds, okay? So just be really, really careful with that. You want to pay attention to, and even in here, even in the Clan Boss calculator, one thing to consider is that if you have it tuned slightly off, even if, I think what was happening was Seeker, because he would go, when I had it set up before, Seeker would skip tower at one point right before the stun, or he would get an extra turn before the stun, and his increased defense that would come on from Helicath, Helicath's block damage expiring. When Helicath's block damage expires, it puts increased defense up. Seeker was wearing through that, and my my stun target, who is Kreela, still had it up, so the clan boss was targeting Seeker. All right, so these are all things we want to pay attention to. Clan boss is going to target the person who is the squishiest. Let me pull this off here. Go back into the champions, okay? So how do I have them built? Again, the speed is the main thing. Helicath, you want to get, honestly, for this specifically, his defense doesn't really matter outside of damage. We don't need his shield for anything. He's not absorbing damage with his shield. Fortunately, I was able to get this build and keep his resistance really high, which I like because I can use it to have him tanking damage in like Doom Tower and other high-end content. So like he's go-to for the Iron Twins and so forth. So a lot of late end game content. I like having him with lots of resistance. Crit rate, I would love to get more crit rate on him. However, Because I'm using Kreela, she increases his crit rate by 30%, so this is actually close to 100%. But again, the speed is the main thing, and then you're just looking at ways to increase damage after that, specifically just for this. I'll do Ninja next, just since he is showing up here. So, you know, Ninja, again, I've got him on high crit rate, crit damage. Ideally, I should probably try and get more attack. I was just running low on silver, trying to get all the speeds right. And if you're building this comp, you know exactly what these champions can do. Kreela, again, so here's where she's increasing my crit rate, also increasing attack. That's what makes Kreela so great. And she does this ally attack. I keep forgetting to go over masteries. Let me go over masteries real quick. Everybody has War Master for the extra damage. Now Ninja and Kreela are 2 targets for the stun. They are not required to keep my comp going. So in this comp, I don't have anybody cleansing. I don't have anybody blocking the debuffs. So somebody's going to have to take the stun. Ideally, I want that to be Kreela. Ninja it would be another option. Challenge with Ninja is he puts a veil on himself, so you would have to work out timing to make sure that he doesn't have the veil up before the stun. Otherwise, it's going to go on Seeker, who is essential in this because his extra turn, or because he's getting his turn meter boost here with this, and then he gets an extra turn. So that's helping him to go faster. Keeps everybody going up to speed. So let's see, masteries. Helicath. Again, I went with War Master. For the ones who you don't want taking the stun, you want to get Steadfast, okay? This registers as an extra buff for the clan boss. So he sees someone with Steadfast, it's kind of like, oh, they've got extra defenses, let me find somebody a little bit squishier. So everybody that can't take the stun, so that's Helicath, that's Roshguard, right? I've got him in Steadfast, and then we've got Seeker in Steadfast also. And really, for Seeker's build, I just went for what I could find in terms of the stats, just to get as good a stats as possible with the speeds. I have that attack set on him. Kreela, kind of same thing. I just threw together pieces of gear. I took the ring. I got to put her ring back on, but I'm going to just do this run without it. Because I was wondering if bringing down her HP. I was having some troubles with making her the stun target before, like I said, with the speed variance from Roshguard. So I took her ring off. I'm assuming it'll work now. But just for the sake of this, I'm going to keep it off. Showed you that one. Ninja, again, you just want to build him, get the speed, and then just go as much attack and attack stats as possible. I was trying to keep him close to a Relentless, so if I wanted to switch him, I could. But maybe I'll just forget, because I like running him in Relentless and like Hydra and stuff. But, you know, might not be worth it. All right, so that is the team. And the amazing thing about this guy, it is a full auto. I didn't run it on Nightmare. It runs on Nightmare as well, but I ended up going with my other team just because it's Spirit, and Spirit throws off the speeds. Presets. So I have it prioritizing Kreela's ally attack, just to kind of get that extra damage in. Ninja, I'm keeping at standard. Helicath, you want him opening with his A1, and then he'll do the block damage. Tower just does the block damage. I turned off his A2. I might turn it back on and see. I don't know which one does more damage. And then Seeker's going to open with his A1 as well. So let's go ahead and do this now with, if you're using Farrakhan instead of Krila, you can turn off Ninja's A2, which is the one that does the most damage, but that would mean that he's the one taking the stun every time. So some people have said they'll do that against Force. And here we go. So I'll just slow it down so you see we got Tower does his block damage initially. And now because this is Force and I have 4 magic champions, the damage is not going to be as high as it was when I did my run this morning on Void. But that one got over 90 million. Almost got to the 100 million mark. Almost. But we'll get there. I'll tweak the team and get it up there. All right, so there you go. You see there's the block damage again. I'll speed it up through. And the key thing as you're fine-tuning it, make sure you just watch. So he's getting ready to do the stun. So this is where I was having issues before, was getting the stun target to be the correct person. So you just can pause it and look and see, all right, what are the buffs on people and so forth. So here he goes for Krila. Which is, I find it interesting that he's not considering the shield. I don't know why, but he does consider the increased defense. So yeah, when you're running a comp like this, and thanks to Big Lead, my clanmate, for helping me to build this, because he really helped me with. He gave me kind of the build guide and helped me troubleshoot. He was the one who helped me figure out what was going on with Tower being slightly off speed, which again was causing, I think, Seeker to take a turn out of order, and he didn't lose the block damage, but he lost the increased defense, which made him the stun target. So I am going to pause the video for a few minutes, let this run down close to the end, and then come back and you can see the final few hits and the final damage totals. All right. Almost done here, and I'm almost to 1 key, so it's not nearly as much damage as I was getting on Void earlier today, but that is because weak hits do factor in quite a bit, especially when you consider my only drop defense in this comp at the moment is Ninja. So if he hits there, I mean, there he put it up. But if he gets a weak hit, then it's not going. So my plan is, once I recover silver and maybe get the right gear, I'll find a spirit affinity champion to replace Krila. Ideally, I would love to get Farrakhan, but I might even just go with someone like Fane, who can keep decreased defense up for sure, throw some poisons out, you know, that sort of thing. But I got my 1 key here with a few turns to spare, so that's, you know, end of the day, really that's kind of all that matters, as long as your clan is able to take the boss down. And today is Christmas Eve, so I think we've probably got a few people on vacation, because usually we've got him dropped at this point in the day, but No worries. And I believe you can sub Ninja out if you wanted. I think Big Lead was telling me because he runs with Farrakhan anyways, and he'll actually swap. I think he puts Draco in instead of Ninja, I believe, and then Draco's taking the stun. But because he places it as opposed to having an attack, then he's always got those debuffs on. All right. Over 75 million. I'm pleased with that. That's quality, and I mean, you can kind of see here with here, let me move myself up here just so you can see the damages. I forgot to do that on my other video I did today. So we see Ninja by and far leading the way. Helicath hits hard. Uh, you know, for a single target, he can hit pretty hard. Um, you know, but most of that damage still was Ninja despite the weak hits. I believe I think he had like 11 million extra damage. I think I was at 42 million with Ninja on Void, and that's because his HP burn is landing more regularly and not as many weak hits. So, but all in all, a very good run despite the affinity. And yeah, so that's the team, guys. Let me know what you think. I hope some of you are able to build this. I know the speeds are pretty ridiculous to get that many champions that fast, but if you have the champions and you want a really good one key Ultra Nightmare team, this is the team to do it. Again, if you're like right now, this doesn't work on Magic just because I don't have a Spirit Affinity champ built there yet. But you could, if you don't have Krila, but you have Farrakhan, go ahead and throw him in, and then you can just manipulate, either turn it off or try and manipulate Ninja's A3 so that he doesn't have his veil up, so he's taking the stun. All right, so hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.